This season on Chef Class, it's all about variations. We'll be showing our home cooks different recipes highlighting one ingredient. Become a master chef from the comfort of your own kitchen. Chef Class Variations. Add some diversity to your kitchen. Hi, and welcome to Chef Class Variations. I'm Chef John Schneeberger, and with me today are
Mike Labosse here.
And Brendan Baudouin.
And they're both advanced students in the culinary program at Loyalist College. Now today we got a great show for you. We're doing grilled Western steak. We've got garlic crostinis, and we're making the best frites you've ever had in your life. Now, let's walk over here to Mike and take a look at what you got. What are you making, Mike?
We're going to make the grilled Western steak. We're going to start off with our mise en place here. We have mirepoix of fresh vegetables. We have onions, carrots, and celery. Since the celery is already diced, I'm going to show you how to do an onion here. First, you want to remove the ends.
I noticed while you're cutting that, you're actually not cutting too deep. You're leaving the root intact.
Of course.
Okay.
Less waste is always better. And you want to try to pull the skin down with your knife. Then you want to take your onion and you want to cut it from north to south through the core. After which, you're going to look for your core here. You're going to remove it. So we've got the core here. Just take your paring knife, cut a little triangle out.
Okay, so let's take a look. So what you actually did is pretty much take the root, clean out.
Correct.
Okay.
So you want to cut it in a triangle there and not across so you have less waste again. From there, you're going to take your chef's knife and you're going to slice lengthwise. You get a nice even dice. You're going to make an incision across here. And then here you want to let your knife do the work. Long slices.
So that's a pretty quick and accurate way of actually dicing up then.
Yes, most definitely, chef.
Okay.
So with the carrot, just clean off my knife here. We're going to cut the carrot in half. And we're going to make sure we do the same even sizes all the way across. Carrot's a little thicker at the bottom, so just slice here.
So you're looking for kind of a medium dice here, right?
Most definitely, chef.
Okay. Now it's really important to bear in mind as well, actually, when you're cutting up your vegetables for this dish, that they're all consistent and that they're a little bit smaller. You want to keep them down a little small because it's only going to take probably about a half an hour in the oven. If the vegetables are too big, a half an hour won't be long enough to actually cook them tender. So small enough so they cook tender, not so small that you lose them, you lose the flavor, but just kind of maybe half the size of your pinky fingernail would actually be about the right size.
After you've gotten your sticks, you just take it down to your dice. Try to keep the same even cubes. Put this in here. So from here, Chef John was nice enough to bring me the ground beef out of the fridge.
I am like that sometimes.
So we're going to take the ground beef here. You could saute off your mirepoix. We're not going to do that today. But if you wanted to do that, I'll just add a little more flavor, a little caramelization to it.
So when you saute it off, it will go into the pan and you'd want it to brown a little bit?
You'd want it a little bit brown, yes,
okay.
Correct.
It's going to give it some sweetness, right?
Exactly. So we're going to take our dried herbs. We've got marjoram. Add that in there. We've weighed these all out as per recipe. We've got a little bit of dried thyme. You could use fresh herbs here. If you were to, you'd want to double the amount.
So dried herbs are twice as strong?
Twice as strong, that's correct, chef. Okay, from there, we're going to add a little Worcester sauce. That'll give it a little tartness. And we've got a little bit of tomato juice here, just to moisten everything up. And we've beaten 2 eggs slightly. We're going to add that in there. That'll help bind everything together. And we've got a little breadcrumbs. We're going to add that in there. That'll help suck up some of the moisture, keep it all moist together.
Okay, so binders aren't necessarily a bad thing, right? They actually help keep the product moister for longer.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So from there, we've got some salt and pepper. It's the seasoning. This can be done to taste. We've weighed out a little bit here. Pre-done.
So it's a good rule to actually always put our seasoning in at the end as well, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
pull back a little bit of that pepper. So now you're just going to get your hands in there, mix it up nice and gently.
All right, that's excellent, thank you. We're going to go over here and talk with Brennan about what he's got on the go right now.
So Chef, what I have here is just some sliced crostini. So what I did in a saucepan is I melted some butter and then added some sliced garlic.
Okay.
And just infused it into the butter.
So really, really slow, low temperature.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And then I just took the mixture, used a pastry brush, and just lathered the bread with it.
Okay.
So Chef, I'm just going to throw this in the oven at 350 just to crisp up the top.
Okay. So how long?
For about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. All right, now we've got to talk about actually making our frites, our French fries, right? So I notice you already have some cut over here. What's the next step? What do we do?
So Chef, I just sliced them into about thick matchsticks. They're about 1 inch thick.
Okay. I also noticed that what we want to do is we want to do a technique called blanching. Can you explain blanching to me?
So basically blanching is you have your oil at a medium heat. Like,
so 350, 360?
Yeah,
okay.
Just so that when you stick your fry in, it's not aggressive, like it's not boiling aggressively.
Sure.
But you just have like a light bubble. It's just so that you get the inside of the fry a little bit moist, so, because everyone loves a moist fry.
Sure. So it's going to cook the French fry, but it's not going to brown the French fry, not too much anyways.
Yes.
And the idea is this, there's a lot of moisture inside of a French fry. If we cook it ahead of time, it's actually going to cook that moisture and draw it out. That's what you're seeing with all the bubbles. You're seeing actually moisture turn into steam and rising through the oil. If we do that, there's very little moisture left in the fry, so that when we fry them nice and hot, they get crispy on the outside and there's no moisture inside to make them soggy again. If we just fry them once, they're going to end up being soggy. So we're going to dry them off because, of course, hot oil doesn't like water.
Right.
Okay.
You could end up with a lot of bobos.
You certainly can. So we'll get them dried off. So at home, we all have our home deep fryers. That makes it a lot safer. We're showing you the kind of the old school way of actually doing this. So we're going to check our heat. And look what we've got. So we don't have a crazy, crazy bubble, right? But we have a nice little sizzle happening, and the French fry starts to float. So remember as well that when we throw in the extra French fries, what's going to happen? It's going to drop the temperature of the oil. So we're still going to keep the temperature up a little bit. We'll start adding these in. It's still going to keep the temperature up, always drop away from you. When it comes back up where we want it to be, then we'll take the temperature down. It's really important as well to make sure that your cutting is as even as possible. If it isn't, the thicker ones will be raw, the thinner ones will be mush, and the middle ones will be perfect. But we'd like them all to be perfect. So there we go. We're where we want to be temperature-wise. So we've got a little bit more blanching to do. Our crostinis are going to come out of the oven. We've got a great chef tip for you to check out, and you don't want to miss this show. So we'll see you in a minute.
It's time to shed some unwanted pounds in time for kitchen season. In this meat butchery exercise, we'll show you how to trim the fat.
Welcome to Chef Tips. Today we're going to show you guys how to cut off this meat off this gorgeous piece of meat and then how to truss it. So first, let's walk you guys through how to clean this off. So we're going to trim off the excess fat, and then we're going to go on to the connective tissue, because that's stuff that does not break down when you cook it. Look at that gorgeous marbling in there. Wow, that's going to be a gorgeous steak right there.
Expand your food repertoire and become a master chef from the comfort of your own kitchen.
Hey, welcome back to Chef Class Variations. All right, we are ready to start putting together our grilled Western steak. Mike, this looks fantastic. What are you going to do next?
Well, from here, we're going to need to make our actual steaks. We want to make them kind of like a filet mignon wrapped in bacon. So they're going to be nice and thick so that the bacon can hold on to it. Now that we have it all mixed up nicely, we've got these nice little molds here. You want about a 5-ounce portion. You want all your portions to be even in size. Instead of weighing them, we're going to use these little molds. That'll give us an even consistency. So we'll take a little bit of here, fill up one mold, and we'll fill up our second mold. There we go.
So you really got to kind of pack them in and make sure there's no air pockets, right?
Yeah, exactly. So everything stays together.
But it doesn't really matter if there's a little bit more or a little bit less, as long as you have enough to.
As long as you have enough to wrap your bacon around there, beautiful. Hold it all in nice in place. Okay. So we'll remove our molds. And from here, we're just going to shape it a little bit. It's going to have a little variation in size here to shape.
But roughly you want them similar so that they cook. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I was saying.
Exactly.
And I noticed that you didn't actually go round. Does that really matter?
No, that doesn't matter. You want to, yeah, I mean, just as long as your bacon gets around there. Nice little...
kind of an oval shape?
Yeah, kind of an oval shape, you know.
Okay.
We like oval. It just kind of looks better to me.
And a toothpick in?
I always slip a toothpick in here, hold it all together. And we'll do the same with the next one.
So I noticed, let's make sure everybody can see here. When you actually tucked it around the back, you had to kind of pull it and tuck it a little bit?
Exactly. You want to make sure that your bacon overlaps here so that you get toothpick through both sides. And it'll hold together.
And as the bacon cooks, it's going to want to pull back. So the toothpick is really, really important to make sure it actually cooks together. Really got to be careful and make sure we pull it out before we're done. But
most definitely.
Okay.
Nobody wants to eat a toothpick.
So you're going to go ahead, you're going to keep that going?
Exactly.
Right?
Finish this up.
Right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make an onion confit. So we have the rest of this lovely onion that Mike actually cut earlier. And what I'm going to do is the same thing. Right here is the root, and because I want to do a julienne, I want to take out the root. So that's going to be gone. And then what I want is just a nice, very thin slice. I'm not looking for a dice. And it's the same thing. I let my knife do the cutting. You can see I'm getting these beautiful, nice, even, thin slices. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So we're going to start out actually with a warm pan. I don't need it crazy hot. And I'm going to put some butter in there. And you can hear, the second I put the butter in there, I get that nice light sizzle. If you don't have a sizzle in your pan, you're doing something wrong. So no fat goes into a cold pan. That's pretty much a basic rule. We make sure that if I'm going to saute or if I'm going to pan fry, I get that sizzle every single time. So I'm ready to go. It's not so hot that it's going to burn, but already I have this beautiful smell. I'm going to take my onions and drop them in. Now I want a little bit of caramelization, but I definitely don't want to burn the butter. So about medium heat. I'm going to let this sweat and almost a saute very lightly. You've seen a lot of chefs shake the pan, and we always think to ourselves, oh, that's just something fancy. What shaking the pan really does is kind of distribute the food all around. So if I have it all bunched into a corner, what really happens is I don't actually use the whole pan to cook, and things end up kind of being soft and mushy. When I shake the food around in the pan, what I'm doing is I'm just distributing it around and making sure that it's nice and even, cooks evenly. Now, that's not done. I need a little bit of garlic. I love garlic. So I'm just going to take, well, maybe not that much, but I am going to take about 4 or 5 of them. And I'm going to cut them up real quick. So just so I have a nice even slice, I don't want to have it, you know, too chunky, too thick. If I find something I'm not happy with, I can give it a little bit more. Again, I really like the taste. As garlic cooks, it kind of loses its acid and becomes very, very sweet. So I want to throw that in and make sure that kind of cooks right down into my confit. So medium heat. And then let it cook. Especially when things get soft, over stirring does 2 things. Kind of breaks it up and makes it mushy. And it cools down the pan. So every time I start stirring when I don't need to, I'm actually kind of allowing air to hit the pan, and it actually ends up cooling the pan down. I don't want to do that. I've got the perfect heat right now. Let it cook. Good cooking takes time. We're going to give it its time. All right, take a look at what we've got. These are caramelizing up just beautifully. I'm going to, at this point, because they're so close to being done, I'm going to season them. A little bit of salt. Really good sea salt is beautiful. A bit of kosher salt would be wonderful. A little bit of pepper. And all I want to do is let that natural flavor of the onion and the garlic really, really come out. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to take the temperature right down and turn it off right now. And this is what I would do to serve with our grilled Western steak today. This is going to be really, really delicious. Now, Brendan, you have temperature up high here, and we want to actually fry them this time, right? We're not blanching anymore.
We want to make sure that we get a nice caramelization on the outside.
All right, so how do we check for temperature?
So I'm just going to stick the fry right in there.
And we're going to watch, and it's going to start frying. Okay, so we're just about there, right?
Almost there.
Okay, so Mike, how are we doing with the meat?
Excellent. We've got them all formed up. We've wrapped them all with bacon. Now we're just going to take them over, pop them in a 400-degree oven because we want that bacon to crisp up.
Beautiful.
And here we go. Let those bake off.
Wonderful. So let's throw some of these fries in, and we'll get it nice and, yeah, here we go. Make sure that they're apart. Look at that, starting to get all nice and bubbly and crispy, and this is going to be wonderful. So let's see. We've got our confit done. We've got the meat in the oven. Our fries are working right now. Our crostini are made. All we have left to do is plate it up, make it look sexy. So we're going to take a little break. When we get back, that's exactly what we're going to do. You don't want to miss it. Hey, welcome back to Chef Class Variations. As promised, we're ready to go. So look at these French fries. My goodness, they look absolutely perfect. Brennan, you ready to take care of that?
Yes, Chef.
Excellent. Mike, how's the meat?
I just checked it, Chef, and it's all ready to go. Let's pull it out of the oven.
Okay.
So I just have a spider here, and I'm gonna...
We really do want to get rid of all the excess fat, right?
Yes, Chef.
They look really crispy. Beautiful. Thank you, Mike. Sure. Okay, so we're going to take the toothpicks out right now. And Brendan, can you explain what you're going to do? What's this process of actually turning them into Parmesan fries?
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to drain off all the oil, most of the oil first anyways. I'm going to make sure that there's still some on it, just so that the kosher salt and Parmesan actually will stick to the fries, because otherwise it would just fall off and there'd be no point of it. So, just gonna drain them off a bit.
There you go.
Okay. Just gonna take a nice little portion here. And I have a bowl here just to toss my fries in.
Is it important you work quickly with this?
Of course, Chef, just so that you get, so that it still can stick.
Sticking? Right, so if you work while these are still moist and fresh, what will actually happen is the salt and the Parmesan will stick to the moistness on the outside. If you allow them to sit for any period of time, they'll get dry. And if they get dry, then all the salt, all the Parm will actually roll off. Nice little toss. Oh, that looks fantastic. Okay, thank you very much. Look how beautiful they are. Nice and golden brown. The Parmesan aroma is incredible. These are fantastic. So let me just put them down. Now, with our Western steaks, you see how the bacon is actually together, and that's because we had our toothpick in there, so it's holding it quite nicely. So we have this beautiful presentation. Looks wonderful. Smells incredible. And we're going to put down 3 of them, just like that. Give them a little bit of room. There we are. Going to take some of our French fries and tuck them in here at the end. I'm going to keep them on the same line for the first row, just like that. Then I'm going to take the next layer and I'm going to go the other way. There we are. Then I'm going to take the last layer, and I'm going to go the other way yet. because I want to have them look nice and high, nice and full. Okay, remember we had this wonderful confit of onion and garlic. So that's going to go right on top. And again, that's going to give the steak a little bit of height as well. There we are. Just move that aside. Okay, we have our crostini that we're going to tuck around in the corner. So everybody gets a crostini with their meal. And then, of course, just a little bit of garnish. You know, you don't really need huge amounts because, quite frankly, that's a beautiful plate to begin with. Yeah, so I just want to add maybe a little bit of lemon just to kind of finish the theme. And lemon's going to give it a bit of freshness. So a little squeeze of lemon on top of the garlic is quite wonderful. Just like that. A little bit of herb. We have wonderful, great big flat leaf parsley here. And the same thing, you don't really need too terribly much. It's just going to help with some color. So I'm going to take that and tuck that right in here. Okay, so just a little bit of color. I don't really need too much, and I certainly don't want to over garnish or crowd the plate. So the last little bit, and the only little touch, is I have lemon zest. Lemon zest is where all the essential oils of the lemon are. So just the tiniest touch on top, and that's going to give each of these steaks the freshness that we were talking about a moment ago. And here is the finished product. I'd be tickled pink if somebody served this to me, and I'd be proud to serve this to one of my guests. That's how I do it.
Looks great.
Thank you.
If you like what you saw today, check out loyalisttv.com, where we have all our past chef class episodes, plus the recipes you saw today and many more, along with chef tips. It's a great site. You gotta check it out. It is a great site. Absolutely.
Also, we have a student-run dining room at Loyalist College. It's Club 213, and you can find a link on the website. Great service.
Great prices. Yeah, absolutely. You really should check it out. Definitely. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today on Chef Class Variations, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.